This is The Minimum Commitment, film theory in small doses. Some stories teach you how the world works. Others teach you how to misunderstand it. I'm Don Lawler, film scholar, sound obsessive, and someone who thinks some stories don't survive the journeys they send you on. Let's get into it. At first, the film Slow West doesn't feel like a Western. It feels like a fairy tale. A boy crossing a vast land for love. A girl waiting at the end of the journey. A world that seems wide, open, almost enchanted. Jay, played by Kodi Smit-McPhee, moves through it like a young knight, certain of his purpose, certain of what the story owes him. The idea of myth doesn't just surround him, it raised him. It taught him what love should look like, what courage should look like, what a journey is supposed to mean. The stories he heard about the mythic West promised him, if you care enough, if you travel far enough, if you stay true, everything will eventually fall into place. So he believes he's in a story where love justifies everything. Every step forward feels meaningful. And the world reshapes itself to honor his sincerity. For a while, that belief is enough. But the film keeps undercutting that belief. Quietly. A wrong turn. An innocuous encounter that becomes dangerous. A moment that ends too quickly. Reality doesn't shatter the myth. It erodes it. You can see it in the way Jay talks about Rose. He speaks as if she's waiting, as if distance is the only thing keeping them apart. But she isn't part of the story he's telling. He treats love like destiny, like it guarantees an ending, and will prove the story is real. But the film refuses that idea. Rose, played by Karen Pistorius, isn't waiting in the way he imagines. The feeling isn't mutual in the way he expects. His love is real, but the story he's placed it in isn't. And that's the key change. He isn't wrong about her. He's wrong about the kind of world he's walking into. This is where the film draws its hardest line. Jay moves with purpose. Silas, played by Michael Fassbender, moves to survive. Jay is forward, focused, and certain he's heading somewhere meaningful. Silas is present, careful, and adapts to what actually happens. Purpose gives Jay direction, but survival sets the terms, and in this world, survival wins. Silas isn't just a guide, he's a correction. He knows what the West actually is. Violence without ceremony. Choices without meaning. Outcomes without fairness. He carries a version of the frontier that doesn't believe in endings that reward courage on sight. Jay changes him, slowly. He pulls something softer back to the surface, and for a moment Silas lets himself believe in a different kind of story. But it's too late, because understanding the world doesn't protect you from it. Violence in Slow West isn't chaotic, it's necessary. From the first encounter, when Silas kills the would-be officer, the film makes something clear. Survival comes first. Violence solves problems. It protects. It clears the path forward, but it doesn't care about meaning. It doesn't reward belief. It doesn't confirm purpose. It doesn't shape itself into the story Jay is trying to live. For him, violence should be a test, a step toward something, a way of proving that his journey matters. But that's not how it works here. Violence doesn't complete his story. It interrupts it. It cuts across it and reshapes it. And in the end, it replaces it. And when that shift happens, it doesn't feel dramatic. It looks like what we see in the final moments. The space is quiet, tranquil at first glance. A small field of wheat stretches across the frame. It looks harmless, but it isn't. Assassins are buried inside it, hidden in the stalks, waiting. One crouches behind a scarecrow. Another moves low through the field. Silas stays out of sight behind the house. Rose is inside. Everyone is concealed. Then the sound of the film starts to define the space. Leather creaks as a rifle is raised. A hammer strikes wood in steady rhythm, and an insect drifts through the air. No music, no signal that something is about to happen. Just wind and distance. Everything is quiet enough that when something breaks, it will break completely. Jay has reached the end of his journey. Every choice he made, every belief he carried, has led him here. He stands inside the story he's been telling himself, that if he came far enough, if he believed deeply enough, it would resolve into something clean. And for a second, it almost feels true. Then a single shot cuts through the stillness, and everything changes. The space collapses. Gunfire answers gunfire. There's no clear line to follow, no final stand, no shape to the violence. But it is brutal. It is uncoordinated. It is absurdly comedic at times. It is completely disruptive. And in the middle of it, Jay is hit. Not by the world he expected, by something closer. There's no time to understand it, no time to place it, no time to make sense of what just happened. Only the aftermath. Later, Silas tells Rose,
"He loved you with all his heart.
His heart was in the wrong place."
That's the film, right there. Jay believed he was living inside a story about love, about purpose, about arrival. But the world he entered was never shaped that way. Slow West doesn't dismantle the Western myth. It shows what happens when someone puts their trust in it. Jay isn't doomed because he's naive. He's doomed because he trusts the story he was given. A story where love gives the journey meaning, where the road leads somewhere, where purpose and survival can still belong to the same world. But the world doesn't honor that story. It refuses to bend around it. And that's the tragedy. The story Jay believed in was never there to catch him. That's your thought for the day. Minimum commitment, maximum meaning. See you next time. The Minimum Commitment is produced, recorded, and edited by Don Lawler. Music by Bobby Quick.